So the new MacBook Pro was announced and released in an updated 14-inch and 16-inch variation. These machines bring Apple's upgraded M1 Pro and M1 Max system on a chip to a completely overhauled form factor redesign that is very familiar but is new. In this video, I'm going to be talking specifically about the M1 Pro. This 16-inch MacBook Pro is their mid-tiered option that comes in at $2,700. This specific build has the M1 Pro 10-core CPU, 16-core GPU with 16 gigabytes of unified memory on board. In comparison to the M1 machines they released last year, this upgraded laptop features performance geared towards professionals and it sips battery. Not to be fanboyish in this video, but quite honestly, this machine delivers powerful performance results in a way that seems magical. I mean, I don't know what wizardry Apple is practicing, but this thing is just, in my initial impressions of it, is just absolutely phenomenal. The usage and performance gains that I'm realizing through my use with this laptop just don't feel real. I can't really comprehend like how awesome this thing is just initially. Add the stunning liquid retina XDR display, a decent FaceTime camera upgrade, 3 studio quality microphones, impressive onboard speakers, and all the ports prosumers and professionals ask for. The 14 and 16-inch MacBook Pro with M1 Pro are just absolutely, positively, truly amazing. Since there are already so many comparisons and synthetic benchmarking tests out there, I'm gonna leave that to them and just kind of speak to the machine in my usage, and hopefully you can garner some information from it and use it in your purchasing decision. With that, I'm just going to share my personal experience in using this new 16-inch MacBook Pro with M1 Pro and how that has been going for the past week. If you're looking for validation in your purchase, you've made a fantastic use of your money in purchasing one of the best values for money any laptop offers. Or if you're looking for a reason to buy this thing and you're a creative professional, just stop this video right now and go ahead and execute that purchase decision. I promise you, you will not be disappointed. With that said, let's go ahead and hop into this unboxing. So here it is, the new M1 Pro MacBook Pro, and this is the 16-inch model in space gray. I went with the mid-tier one that has a 10-core CPU and a 16-core GPU. So with that said, let's go ahead and get into unboxing this thing. I will say Apple has done a better job at kind of signifying on the packaging which model that you actually have. And it's much more clear and much more transparent on the packaging itself. This machine will be replacing my iMac Pro. Apple has a nice little pull tab up here so you no longer have to cut into the plastic. So you literally just pull this stuff off and it opens the plastic nice and neat. There's the new MacBook Pro in all its glory within this paper wrapping. We'll put this off to the side for a moment. So you get black colored Apple stickers, which is a unique touch. This is something that you would only get on Pro features, so I think they're including it with all of the MacBook Pros. The documentation holder within the packaging is a little weird. This is this fat piece of cardstock within there. I don't understand the waste that's occurring there. I mean, Apple's been a pretty huge proponent of reducing waste. There's a huge fat piece of cardstock within this. I don't know what that's all about, so if you know, leave me a comment down below. Here is the wall adapter. It's a rather large wall charger. I'm gonna have to get the extension cable because I hate plugging this thing directly into it, but you can see that it adapts to the standard Apple extension cable. Just pop that off. I think it's an additional 20 bucks. I wish they would include it in the box like they used to in the past, but they don't. This is a 140 watt charger. So if I don't know if you can see it there, but right there, it says 140 watts. And then it accounts for a bunch of different voltages and amperages. So that's a nice touch. That is a pretty substantial wall charger, if I do say so myself. The return of MagSafe. It is a braided cable that goes from USB Type-C to the MagSafe. This is a really long braided cable. As you can see, the MagSafe adapter is back. The braids on this thing is really nice. It feels great in the hand. I think that's gonna withstand quite a bit of usage, especially if you travel a lot. I like that they designed this cable in a way that could be detached and replaced rather easily. I think it's 50 bucks for a new cable instead of paying a whole ton more money for a whole brand new charger. I like the direction here. I like the serviceability of this. One thing that's yet to be determined is how much dirt and grime this will hold on to and how it'll look over a long period of usage, especially dragging it around on the floor and whatnot. You know, I don't know how these fibers will hold up with the grease and all that type of stuff of your fingertips. Wonder if they're gonna come out with a black version. That would probably resolve that issue, but that's yet to be determined. This wax paper, I really like it. On the bottom, you see machined MacBook Pro. Feet on the bottom of this thing are substantial and they feel awesome. One thing I will say, the Space Gray has a tendency to pick up fingerprints. I don't have too crazy of fingers, but you can see my fingerprints all over this thing already. Before we open this thing up, I want to take a look at the ports and the sides of this thing. Here you can see the intake inlet for the exhaust, SDXC, so UHS 2 capability, SD card slot here, Thunderbolt 4, and a full-size HDMI port. Moving around the front, you can see the opening, and on this side you got MagSafe, 2 Thunderbolt 4 ports, and a high-fidelity 3.5mm headphone jack that has the ability to drive higher impedance headphones. And then you got another intake vent here around the back, all the exhaust. So with all that said, let's go ahead and open this thing up and have it power on. Take a look at the new keyboard. I love this keyboard. It looks freaking phenomenal. Got Touch ID here, no more stupid touch bar, full-size function keys. I am just in absolute awe of this new keyboard. The base model 14-inch M1 Pro MacBook Pro starts at $2,000. In my opinion, if you're already shopping in this price range, I would add the additional $500 and upgrade to the next model up, because you get 2 additional CPU cores, 2 additional GPU cores, a 96-watt power adapter, and 1 TB of storage. Or there's another direction I would go. If you're not opposed to the 16-inch form factor, get the larger screen, more battery, a much beefier power adapter. Both of those start at $2,500. To me, the features on either of the model are worth the additional $500 because none of that stuff can be upgraded by the user later on down the road. The M1 Pro SoC brings significant speed and efficiency improvements to the MacBook Pro over the previous version of this, which is their introductory M1. The M1 Pro and M1 Max are Apple's second iteration of their own SoC for Mac that integrates the CPU, GPU, RAM, and more, just all together. The 16-inch base model M1 Pro has a 10-core CPU with 2 high-efficiency cores and 8 high-performance cores, along with an integrated GPU that has 16 cores of total power. And because of this integration, the calls to the SSD make it insanely faster at read and write speeds than that of previous Mac systems. These new MacBooks are also configurable up to 8 TB of storage. One feature of the M1 Pro and M1 Max is its unified memory architecture, or UMA, which unifies high bandwidth, low latency memory into a single pool. This means the hardware that has historically been built separately, like CPU, GPU, and the RAM, the M1 Pro SoC can access the same data without copying it between multiple memory pools for an even more dramatic performance improvement than that of the M1 across the whole system. Essentially, everything can grab from UMA at the same time, making the system super responsive. You open the lid on this MacBook Pro and the screen is on and ready to go before you even finish opening it. And if you use your Apple Watch to unlock your system, you're already logged in and the system is waiting for you before you even put eyes on this beautiful Liquid Retina XDR display. The MacBook Pro has an engineered and advanced thermal system that moves 50% more air at lower fan speeds. And thanks to the efficiency of Apple Silicon, the fans really never turn on this laptop for many of the tasks you do every day, let alone rendering long projects in Premiere Pro or Final Cut. The amazing part, this combination gives the laptop the ability to press out longer, more sustained power calls to the processor, and had that high performance while ensuring quiet operation. These new MacBook Pro models build to order options on RAM max out at 64 GB of unified memory, but that requires a M1 Max SoC upgrade. So when you click that, it's not a true representation of the actual cost because you can't have 64 GB on the M1 Pro. Battery life in the M1 Pro MacBook Pro model is quite honestly unreal and unbelievable. It literally doesn't feel real on this 16-inch. This laptop makes having a laptop for professional work a viable option for many professionals. It is what a laptop should be. I don't know how to explain it, but using this machine throughout the day without ever having to even consider where I am going. I don't even need to bring the freaking charger for everyday tasks. This just adds a gigantic workflow improvement for me. This thing offers up to 14 hours of web browsing and up to 21 hours of video playback using the Apple TV app. Did I test that? No, but I've never experienced this type of battery life on a laptop that I've used for editing video on battery power. It is absolutely, positively amazing. Another thing to know insofar as power management, the 16-inch features a 100 watt-hour lithium polymer battery and is fast charging capable with the included 140 watt USB-C power adapter. Fast charging can only be accomplished through the MagSafe 3 port though. I only mention that because you can charge the system through the 3 Thunderbolt 4 ports on this MacBook as well. This notebook has seen a significant external design change that is a bit nostalgic in its implementation. It continues to feature the same type of machined aluminum unibody that we're all used to, with a very large industry-leading Force Touch trackpad. Amazing speakers that flank the keyboard, which has been dropped into an all-black keyboard deck. The MacBook Pro comes in the standard and familiar silver and space gray color options as well. The 16.2-inch Liquid Retina XDR display features a 3456 by 2234 resolution, 1000 nits of sustained brightness, and 1600 nits of peak brightness. So that's only going to be accomplished through HDR content. If you watch a video on like YouTube or something like that, it has HDR enabled, you'll see that the video itself or the video player is much brighter than the surrounding display, even at 100% brightness. Apple has carried over the P3 wide color support for vivid, true to life colors, and my most hated feature, True Tone technology. This is something I immediately disable when I open these new machines because it messes up my color correction process. There's a new capability these screens can deliver. ProMotion comes to the Mac for the first time, and it makes everything super fluid and responsive as you're moving through the system. It also helps with reducing power consumption and extending battery life. It gives refresh rates up to 120 Hertz as the adaptive technology is built into the screen and automatically adjusts to match the movement of the content you are going through on your laptop. With ProMotion, video editors can also choose a fixed refresh rate. There's finally a 1080p FaceTime HD camera, which is comparable to the iMac Pro's awesome FaceTime camera. I'm excited about this, and it's a welcomed upgrade. So here's the FaceTime camera on this new MacBook Pro. I think this is a phenomenal addition to the laptop lineup that Apple is offering. Pair that with the 3-array microphone that is built into the laptop. I don't see any reason why you couldn't record studio quality vocal snippets or something like that if you were in a pinch. Would I recommend that? No, but the microphone quality on this new MacBook Pro is absolutely amazing. I mean, it sounds freaking fantastic. After I played this back, after recording this, it just sounds so freaking good. And this camera and setup is about the same distance as what I will record my iMac Pro for comparison's sake. This sample is being recorded in maximum quality through QuickTime, so I'm not using any external anything, any noise reducers or anything. This is just strictly on Apple hardware using Apple software. Let me know what you think of the quality of the FaceTime camera as well as the microphone with a comment down below. For comparison's sake, here is the iMac Pro's FaceTime camera that's being recorded in maximum quality. It is also being recorded directly onto its onboard microphones, which I think at the time, before these laptops were introduced and released, this is the best FaceTime camera in any Mac system. And it still stacks up really nicely against these new MacBook Pros. Tell me what you think between the two. I will say that the microphones on the MacBook Pro, that 3-array really does a magical thing to your voice considering it's a microphone on a laptop. This one isn't bad, but it's not as good as that. Along the lines of wireless connectivity, the M1 MacBook Pro has Wi-Fi 6 and Bluetooth 5.0, making my wireless connections just as reliable with less lag as the M1 SoC can process those things. It's not the newest technology, but it will suffice for me. Wireless connections to this machine are solid, and I have no complaints, other than Apple could probably push the limits and put the most newest technology in their systems, but they don't, in past and history, they don't really do that. They want to do what's good, what's available right now. The stereo speakers are pretty great, but in all honesty, all of the 16-inch MacBook Pros of yesteryear have delivered fantastic results. There's no real difference here, and there's no lower expectations because laptops, traditionally the MacBook Pros sound the best. The high fidelity 6-speaker sound system that has force canceling subwoofers provides wide, warm stereo sound. They give users the ability to listen to playback utilizing spatial audio directly through the onboard speakers in Dolby Atmos. There's also a studio quality 3-mic array with a high signal to noise ratio and directional beamforming, giving you the isolation you need for those voice calls. And if you're in a pinch and you need a good mic to record through, I mean, this could act as a passable and viable solution. The 3.5mm headphone jack now gives you the advanced support that you need to plug in your high impedance headphones. So anything above 150 ohms, I think I was reading, and you plug that in and it automatically adjusts the output, so you don't need a DAC to kind of process that powering, realize that high fidelity sound. These new M1 MacBook Pros carry over the recently revamped Magic Keyboard with a refined scissor mechanism that Apple says is more reliable than the highly controversial butterfly keys. These scissor keys offer up to 1 millimeters of evenly displaced key travel for a very stable and comfortable key press. There's no flex in the keyboard either because of the machined aluminum. The gimmicky touch bar is now gone, and we've been given full height function keys. I'm super happy about this change. I'm not saying the touch bar was bad, it's just not something I ever used. I never looked down at my keyboard when I was making adjustments or edits. I depended on my keyboard shortcuts. Flanking the full height function keys, the secure Enclave Touch ID fingerprint sensor that can be used to unlock the Mac and make purchases. There's also, on the other side, a larger physical escape button. Apple states the M1 Pro MacBook Pro can simultaneously support full native resolution on the built-in display at 1 billion colors and up to 2 external displays with up to 6K resolution at 60 Hz with the same color support on the M1 Pro. If you have the M1 Max, however, you can get a whopping 3 external displays at 6K resolution and 1 external display in addition to that at 4K resolution, all running at 60 Hz with the same color support. There are major speed improvements with these new SoCs, and with that, I definitely would recommend buying one of these systems if you were one of those folks that were on the fence and waiting for more from last year's M1. Rosetta 2, the translation software for the Intel-based, x86 type stuff, applications on these new systems, is dang near imperceptible and works great for what most of us use our laptops for. Even with production elements. In my use, I haven't noticed much of a difference in processing time working through all of my Adobe applications. But I mean, Adobe just recently released 2022, and those things seem to have seen quite a bit of significant performance increases. I'm not saying it's all great, because there are times that the system hangs and becomes unresponsive for a short amount of time. Premiere Pro export times are much improved from what I used to experience on my iMac Pro, while using a ton less power. I can't emphasize that enough. So far, all of my plugins seem to have been working fine as developers are starting to recompile their software to run natively on these new SoCs. Now that Apple has brought more I/O options to their system, these systems more specifically, I wholeheartedly recommend this machine to any prosumer, content creator, or professional without question. Seriously, if you do any type of work in the creative space, put your order in for this thing as soon as you can. I promise you will not regret it. So I'm sitting here cutting through this project and I'm shooting some B-roll in between and all types of stuff, and I realized I didn't even talk about the notch on the MacBook Pro. That just goes to show you how imperceptible it is to me. There are some weird scaling issues with it, because if you go to display and scaled, the menu items become really small, but the menu doesn't adjust and it looks weird. But I think they'll resolve that over time with system updates and all types of stuff like that. But all in all, it doesn't really bother me, especially if you have a darker wallpaper
or you're editing like this, you don't even see it.
Before I close this video out, let's talk about purchasing options, and I'll make some recommendations on where you can find the best prices. If you're a veteran or military member, you can save on your purchase of new and refurbished Apple gear. You'll just need to verify through ID.me and you can get 10% off of those purchases, even the refurbished store. So if you wanted to wait a little bit for these machines to hit the refurbished store on apple.com, there's also a little known secret of purchasing refurbished directly from them. I know there is some stigma surrounding purchasing refurbished electronics, but I've done it many times and have saved thousands of dollars in doing so on apple.com. Additionally, Apple certified resellers like B&H and Adorama discount brand new machines regularly. I'll leave some links in the description. Full disclosure, those are my affiliate links, so purchasing anything through them provide me a little bit of commission based off your purchases without costing you anything in addition. It's just a way for you to support content creation here on this channel. So if you'd be so kind to purchase things through my links, I would highly appreciate it, and I thank you in advance. Well, that about does it for me in this one. If you enjoyed it, please feel free to give me a thumbs up. If you didn't, you know what to do. Thank you for taking the time to watch. I'm Tomas, and I will catch you in the next one.